I just want to raise one last question about improvisation, because I see a strong link, or there is a similarity between what you are you're highlighting, or what you want to emphasize today, especially the first part of your talk, and what we have been trying to sell when we're telling people that we're doing philosophical science. And that thing is that there is always something that is being neglected or taken for granted in scientific practice. And you have given the examples of sometimes there might be something that should be part of the whole scientific practice, but it's neglected. And what we always try to tell scientists and also our students that there are always some assumptions that is already made. And when people are doing an experiment, or when people are immediately endorsing scientific paradigms. And that's what we keep highlighting. And I think that's quite interesting. So I would really like you to tell us more about this improvisation, maybe in the kind of improvising science that you're talking about, and maybe also in dancing. Because for us in philosophy, there is some. So that's what we do. We have some methodologies, not like we have the methodology in philosophy, but we there are several things that we usually do. We check the assumptions, we check the logic, and so that's the methodology. But what about the improvisation that you were talking about? So you're saying that we should be in the moment and do what? Wait.
Play with sticks.
Wait.
It's excellent. I mean, it's really. I mean, you said a lot of things and asked a very hard question. I really appreciate the connection you are making between kind of the practice of philosophy of science, the practice of improvisation. I wasn't explicit enough. I think I wouldn't have said it because I wouldn't have. But I wanted to say something similar. Maybe I didn't exactly say that, but as I said, the article we're writing now also is kind of geared, among other things, to kind of how to teach science, and saying that improvisation can be a way to help scientists notice notice the apparatus understood as everything that is about the world. Apparatus is not limited to the technological machine. And Karen Barad says that what often happens in science is that we notice the apparatus when things go wrong. So when something breaks down is when you go like, oh, and this is something we feel also very much in a lot of other in life. Often we notice the fragility of a situation when something. We don't notice that the situation is fragile before something goes wrong. And the practice of improvisation, I would say, tends to invite us to note exactly the apparatus, or before something goes wrong, also as a practice. So it's a practice of noticing, of awareness. How you do it, there are a lot of different practices. Every improviser has their own technique. Steve Paxton has the small dance, where you stand and observe everything is happening. Lisa Nelson has the tuning score. Good example from the tuning. What is interesting in the tuning score is that it allows to shift everything by having a call. Everything can shift. So, for example, we move around, and then all of a sudden she would say reverse, and then you have to go back. Or anyone can say reverse, and then we have to go back. Or we do something, and another call, and everyone who was public becomes audience, becomes the dancers, and the dancers, whoever was dancer, all of a sudden become audience. So now, right now, we'll call the call, and you'll be giving the talk, and I'll be the public. The calls themselves are funny and interesting, actually, but what's really interesting for what Lisa does is she's not cares about the result of the cause, but about the kind of state of mind it brings you, in which you know that at any moment everything can reverse, everything can be otherwise. And I think that again brings you the awareness to the fact that right now there is public and speaker, and this is already a very strong political situation going on here. White male that are speaking in English in Taiwan to an audience consisting mainly of Taiwanese people, invited, as a scientist into an art, and a lot of issues going on right here that we should notice as part of this talk, and that those things go unobserved. Yeah, but I agree, and there's not one answer. I think improvisation is a rich world, and I think you could, but it's an interesting, that's why you said diffractively, you can use philosophy of science to read practices of improvisation now. So you can use the same tools you use to study science, look at, or try to understand in what ways they are the same or different from practice of philosophy. I would say that probably at least one of the differences, and something we talked about the other day, but we didn't arrive today, unfortunately, this issue of personal experience. So how does that go, like actual first-hand experience, how does that go into the process?
Right.
That's maybe a place where things are different.
So that is the next time from the philosophy to improvisation, to practice.
This is a summer school where people will come together to do philosophy and also to do some improvisation.
So is you lead?
I'm organizing this. Okay. We are doing so. I put the website labodance.org. It was in the beginning, the first slide. We put it out afterwards. There are some articles there and some videos and other things. Some articles are in English, some of the other materials in French. This summer school is something we organize. It will be many other people, Karen Barad and others that will be speaking and doing things, but you're welcome to apply and to join us.
So about body reaction, each other, improvisation, or dancing theater, or...
Yeah, I mean,
因为时间的关系，因为他们要收场地关系，所以我们就是让这样的谈话，如果你还对资讯有一些好奇的话呢，也许我们可以就是交换一些联络方式，我也会试着同整一些资讯放在国外实验室的脸书啊或网站上面。